Our planet Earth is constantly changing, whether it be new land being formed or land succumbing to the forces of erosion. In 1539, Alonso de Santa Cruz of Madrid, Spain, mentioned a list of islands north of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula called El Yucatán e Islas Adyacentes, which means the Yucatan and the adjacent islands. It states that there's an island 10 by 10 kilometers in diameter that exists about 170 miles or 264 kilometers north-northwest off the coast of Yucatan Peninsula. This island was called Bermeja Island or Isla Bermeja, which at the time meant reddish blonde due to its supposed color. After the supposed discovery of Bermeja Island, it was never seen again. The island's location has been placed on maps by early cartographers. Since 1844, French-Mexican cartographer Michel Antochi Colpa noticed that British maps have reported the sinking of Bermeja Island of about 360 feet or 110 meters below sea level. The thing is, Bermeja Island's location shows up on Google Maps. As we zoom closer, we can see that this island does not exist on Google Maps, even though it says Bermeja Island, but the island does not exist. So what happened to Bermeja Island? Renewed interest in this island came about in 2008 due to wanting to know the boundaries for oil exploration rights. But an extensive search by the National Autonomous University of Mexico found no evidence of Bermeja Island. So what happened to Bermeja Island? There are many theories on what happened to it. First theory, the island succumbed to the waves. This happened to some islands in the Pacific, especially in Kiribati and Micronesia. Islands just completely disappeared due to many reasons such as erosion through waves, storms, underwater landslides, and rising sea levels. But there's only one problem. The area where Bermeja Island is, or supposedly was, is about 1,000 meters or 3,300 feet deep. And there are also seamounts about 5 miles, 8 kilometers to the south that are higher up on an escarpment where the seafloor is 100 to 250 meters or 330 to 800 feet below the surface. There could be a possibility that the island experienced a complete underwater landslide, but this would have caused a tsunami throughout the Gulf of Mexico, and there has been no evidence of a tsunami that has been found, neither the evidence of a collapsed island. The tops of the seamounts on the escarpment are about 100 to 200 meters or 330 to 660 feet below sea level. There is no evidence of a shallow remnant of an island anywhere in this area. There are, however, other islands off the coast of Yucatan Peninsula, such as Scorpion Reef and the Triangles, but they are nowhere near the Bermeja Island location. It may have been possible that these islands may have been mistaken for Bermeja Island. Another theory is that a pumice raft may have been mistaken for Bermeja Island. A pumice raft is a mass of lightweight volcanic porous stones called pumice that are light enough to float on the surface of water. The pumice originates from nearby underwater volcanic eruptions and sometimes land eruptions that have pyroclastic flows pushing ash and pumice towards the sea. The color of the pumice rafts seems to match the reddish blonde color of Bermeja Island that was mentioned many years before. A pumice raft can be so large that it can be thick enough to walk on and can be many, many kilometers wide, like this one seen from space from the Tonga eruption of 2006. Sandy Island, according to Wikipedia, was a non-existent island near Australia that was reported in 1876 by the whaling ship Velocity, and was also included on some maps well into the 20th century. According to a team of University of Sydney scientists, it is possible that this false report may have been pumice rafts mistaken by the Velocity for dry land. So was Bermeja Island a pumice raft? Well, there are a few problems with this theory. There are no underwater active volcanoes near this area in the Gulf of Mexico, nor near the Yucatan Peninsula. There are volcanoes about 1,000 miles or 1,600 kilometers to the east, but are not likely to send a pumice raft to the Yucatan Peninsula area. San Martin Tuxtla volcano in Veracruz, Mexico, located 300 miles or 480 kilometers to the southwest, had large eruptions in 1664, 1793, and 1794. But the island of Bermeja was allegedly seen a century before 1664, so we can rule out a pumice raft in this theory. Now, the final and plausible theory is that Bermeja Island may have been placed on a map either intentionally or by mistake at the time. Some of the islands that lie off the Yucatan coast may have been mistaken as Bermeja Island, even though they lie over 100 miles or 160 kilometers away from the Bermeja location. Another theory is that a cartographer intentionally placed Bermeja Island on a map at the location in order to steer ships away from shallow water and nearby shallow reefs into deeper water to prevent shipwrecks. Either way, this phantom island of Bermeja never existed, nor does it exist today.